예상했던 대로 승리를 해가지고 별로 기쁘지도 않고 슬프지도 않고 그냥 연습했다 정도로 생각하고 있어요.
It just continues as we see SBT setting up the final stand. But once again, Meriden, the four-man sleep here. Great play by him, Meriden.
From fashion to style to play style. That's like the embodiment of Hankono right there. BlossoM securing this, but not without a challenge this time around.
방금 승리했던 것처럼 평상시 그냥 애들 하던 대로 웃으면서 재밌게 했으면은 여유롭게 이길 것 같아요.
중국 팀은 그래도 좀 이길 거라 생각을 해서 그래도 다행히 이겼기 때문에 기분은 좋네요.
Ladies and gentlemen, Tempest is going to take game number 2 here on Towers of Doom in very, very dominant fashion and take the series over CE.
Such a powerful.
블라썸 되게 잘하는 팀이라고 생각해서 최선을 다해서 열심히 해서 이겨보도록 하겠습니다.
And welcome back to the Eastern Clash. We are 1-1 between BlossoM and Tempest, having one of the longest games of the entire tournament so far. And once again, the last one was a little shorter.
Yeah, a little bit. 33 minutes in the first game is pretty hard to top.
That's true, that's true. But either way, Tempest a little bit more convincing overall in that second matchup with some fantastic sleeps from Hyde.
Yeah, I mean, definitely Hyde playing very well in that last game. Tempest adapting in general very well. I think it's, it's making for a very good series, and I'm excited to see further adaptations as we carry on.
So, we are heading into what is going to be game number 3. This is no way a series closeout. This is a best of 5. This is mainly to swing momentum. Now the Tempest were able to win the last game. How important is momentum going into a series like this, Snitch?
I mean, I think it'll feel very good if you're Tempest. I don't think, like I said, they'll be too sad about the first game. They were executing their draft very well in some of the moments where they could. It was just they kind of got to the late game where their draft was struggling a lot, and they just ended up getting closed out eventually. But, they held on a long time, which I think was a testament to how well they were playing on Dragonshire. Yeah, winning Cursed here will probably give them a lot of momentum going into the next match, and I think they'll feel that they're the stronger team with how the series has gone so far.
And BlossoM have been slowly gaining momentum in the votes, but we'll have to see after the draft if that keeps up. If you guys still believe in BlossoM, it is #BLS. If you think that after that last series and what Twitch has been leaning slightly towards so far, you think Tempest will win, then it's #TP. But we are heading into game 3 very soon, and so far we've seen some very macro-heavy maps so far. With Dragonshire very rotation-heavy, and Cursed, we saw a double global attempt from BlossoM.
I'm just interested to see how BlossoM is going to draft here. That Illidan pick was wild, going into the unending hatred then towards the end.
Yep.
And it didn't quite work out as they expected. So, I mean, we raised the question before we were even heading in. Should they have maybe adapted and go into something else here, given the draft they saw on the other side? So I want to see what the adjustment now is going into game number 3. What's going to be the answer? Or are they going to throw another curveball here?
This is apparently Good's family, by the way, as I have been told. So cool to see. Once again, we are, of course, in Incheon, South Korea. I butchered that pronunciation very clearly. But but it's nice to see that once again when you play on home turf, you can get people coming to see you play.
Yeah, we have actually even more people now in the venue here as I originally expected. So apparently they found some way to squeeze in a few more chairs. But we talked about the family aspect actually yesterday a bit, and I want to come back to that because we've been told by several of the Korean players now that their family is actually not attending the event, and one of the reasons is that it puts more pressure onto them when they perform on the stage and have families sitting in the audience. They say they still have family members watching everything from home, but over here they want to make sure that they can give their best, so that's a bit of a distraction. Something you ever experienced? I mean, you had family come to events. Is that really something you consider when you're sitting on stage?
I mean, I think at this point, my mom is so famous in the Heroes Esports scene that at this point, if I wasn't confident with her watching, I'd be a complete mess every single series. So, yeah, but it's nice to have my family supportive. Obviously, they've attended BlizzCons in the past and watched me play. I don't feel like it affects me negatively personally. It kind of like fuels me a little bit. It's nice to have family supporting you in there. So I think it's like, it depends on the person. Some people might find it, a nerve-wracking thing because they don't want to lose in front of their family. family members, you know, that could be a bit embarrassing, you know, things like that. That's kind of what they're thinking. But for other people like me, I think I enjoy having, you know, close people watch.
It seems definitely a bit of a cultural thing here for sure.
Maybe, yeah.
We already have our map and our draft ready. It is going to be Infernal Shrines. So we are going to be heading into draft number 3. Once again, a Tempest-favored map with a much better win-loss rate, 3-1 compared to 1-2 for BlossoM.
Yeah, right now I'm not quite sure how much that even figures in with such a small sample size. It's all
Very
about
true.
like how you feel here on the stage and with the momentum. But it's definitely, as historical data goes, it's definitely an interesting point. But this series has been all over the place. I mean, you have a 33-minute game on Dragonshire, which is pretty much unheard of. And a great rotational play from Tempest in game number 2, which secures the victory for them. Bans are very, very much so what we've seen in, yeah, exactly what we've seen in the series before. Genji and Maiev are going to be targeted in every single one. I don't expect them to make it into the games in this series anytime soon.
But now, what else will we see? We saw Abatha previously. It's a very large map, but this is not the most popular Abatha map overall. So So do you feel we could see that again, potentially?
I don't think it's impossible for an Abatha to come out, but it's not a very Korean-favored
Yeah,
pick. They prefer the Towers Abatha, the Cursed Abatha, like we said. One pick I am interested in here is actually Alex Straza. On a global scale, Alex Straza has ridden higher and higher throughout the entire world. On this map specifically, obviously China, big favorite to the Alex Straza player everywhere. So we saw a lot of bans on it before, but I'm interested to see if these Korean teams have picked up the Alex Straza style and if they're going to pull it out here today.
It's an interesting thought because currently neither of these teams in Phase 2 at least have locked her in very much. Both have a single game on the hero, with BlossoM actually bringing out a victory instead of Tempest, but with BlossoM already bringing out the Decade. If we were seeing any kind of double support, Alex Straza is not the one I would expect to see with a Decade Kane. But Tempest already opening up with the Diablo Reyna this time. Once again, not going into that Phoenix that has been prioritized so highly in this tournament.
And one of the things that's always really enjoyable when you are at an offline event in particular is how the meta and how the perceptions in draft changes from game to game. And now we're having the priority of Deca just skyrocketing. He has been first pick now in game number 2, in game number 3, and BlossoM was even willing to give Diablo up, which has been a staple in the 2 previous games. And in this case, Tempest even snap picks him and says like, yeah, we're not going to give Diablo over to you. It was already a problem for us in Dragonshire, but on Infernal Shrines, that's even worse. So let's make sure that that's not going to be a thing.
But BlossoM this time with the Anubarak potential for dive. They've also been really liking the Li Ming in the series. So I doubt they would mind picking that up again for Moderns. So they've got a pretty good setup with that. There is that Alex Straza ban, as you were alluding to earlier, Snitch.
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me. I think the Alex Straza start is very strong, especially when you have that Diablo. You can even talent into the W build. And, you know, you get those globes at level 1, and if he has Devil's Due, he's full healing every time you press W. So that's the sort of team fight style can be very hard to break on the Shrines. It's a very, very dangerous combo. So I'm not surprised to see that Alex Straza taken out. Tychus ban, a little bit more surprising for me.
Yeah.
It can burn Cocoon very quickly, and it can burn through the a little bit squishier double tanks, so there is some logic there, and of course sieging onto the objective is quite good, but it is an interesting ban, like you did say.
I mean, you have a Diablo on your side, so you're trying to make sure that he doesn't get bursted down, but especially when talking to your players, it feels like right now Tychus just falls short when compared to other damage dealers, so that they are still committing to that Tychus. Does that show us anything in regards to that tank play on Diablo? How worried are they really about Diablo being shredded down here? It's not what I would have expected, especially with Phoenix still being up, which is a snap pick now on the other side, plus the Thrall for the additional slows.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think they were... Maybe, you know, San's a little nervous about playing into the Tychus, but again, I think maybe they felt like they had a free ban. They didn't really feel like there's anything they were too worried about. I think this Thrall pick by BlossoM is actually very interesting. I think maybe Tempest were looking for this last pick Thrall. It's something they like a lot, and I think maybe taking the Leoric and kind of greeting this flex may hurt them here, unless they have another thing prepared.
Here comes that Li Ming. So Li Ming against a noob, with it being let go by BlossoM, opting instead for, as we said, that Phoenix and Thrall. The Li Ming being given over, one of the best Cocoon shredders, so it's probably going to have to end up being the Cocoon target more often than not, unless you can separate her away from that Malfurion.
I feel like also coming back to the Tychus ban for a second, one of the added benefits is of course that you can easily secure a shrine, so I feel that map plays also a big role in the ban. It's not only the Diablo pick, but also your ability to, after 20 stacks, to just simply get one.
This is Signs Baby here coming in. So once again, people coming in to see the players play.
Already observing Sign, you know,
Yeah.
getting some tips and tricks, getting ready to break
Next
into a
level
future
pro
career.
gamer there.
Another
Pro
career
gamer
here
in
is
the making.
storm.
The man himself ready to try and go up in this series as we are preparing very shortly to head into this. But right now, the Malfurion, we always have concerns ever since the removal of Ice Block. There's a fair amount of very reasonable engage, especially with that Anubarak. Does that concern you at all?
I think this draft from Tempest concerns me quite a lot, actually. I don't think there's too much synergy between what they've drafted. The Li Ming feels like they're scared of the Anub, you know, they're scared of this Cocoon, but I don't think it syncs too well with the rest of their draft. I think, you know, they have the Diablo Leoric combo, they have the Malfurion for sustain, but as you say, I think they're very susceptible to this dive, and if Li Ming gets caught out of position, it could be a complete disaster for them.
And other than that, let's have a look at the side of BlossoM. What are the potential weaknesses in their draft at the moment?
I mean, I like their draft a lot. They have really, they have a fantastic shrine presence. They have with Blaze and Thrall here. You have Bunker available whenever there is an engage coming your way. Deckard is going to zone out every single entrance towards the shrine. Dive potential on top of it too. Phoenix should be super safe behind all of this.
Yeah.
I mean, this looks very much like a fantastic game for them.
But after that last performance in the previous game, chat are once again leaning back towards Tempest. That was a convincing game number 2 from them. So we're going over in their favor, at least for the moment. But BlossoM, maybe they can win everyone over as we are going to head into game number 3, ladies and gentlemen, between BlossoM and Tempest. We are here on Infernal Shrines, ladies and gentlemen. Spawning on the left-hand side, it is going to be BlossoM with Honkono playing that Anubarak, Gondar on the Thrall, Merryday on Deckard Cain, Wiz on Blaze, and Modern is on Phoenix.
10 seconds.
And over to the right side of the map, Tempest rocking it with Lockdown on Li Ming, good on Arena. We see Dami on Leoric, Sign on Diablo, of course, and Hide on Malfurion.
Let's get this underway. New habits picked up by the Blaze once again, wants that Unstoppable, and the Regeneration Master, even against the Li Ming, coming in from the Anubarak.
Yeah, definitely having seen the quest talent on Wiz side, we've seen that now multiple times already taken on Blaze, just shaking that up a bit here. Already Leoric here at the side. I mean, this brawl in the middle is actually pretty dangerous for Tempest, I feel, because there's a lockdown potential. That's exactly what we're seeing here. I'm not quite sure why they went into that. Like, if you are having this 5 versus 5 setup and you're Tempest, you don't want to fight.
I in no way disagree with you. That was very interesting. Deckard is so dangerous in these mid-fights, and Diablo does not have an escape tool unless he is somehow behind the enemy.
Yeah, that's not all. I mean, it's not only Deckard. You have Anubarak with a stun engage, a Thrall follow-up, a Blaze follow-up. Going into that fight is weird to say the least. I don't know what exactly Tempest was thinking there.
It's a very early kill, not the biggest jump in XP, but every bit of XP is worth it as we see the rotation from BlossoM beginning to rotate between mid and bot. Even using that, even with Thrall coming in here, he wants to get those stacks, so he would not mind assistance from his team at all.
Yeah, I mean, Thrall is sitting currently at 8 stacks right now, so he's going to try and get that done before the first shrine is active. That's normally what you aim for. You want to complete the quest talent, the Echo of Elements, as the as the first objective spawns. It allows you to go away from simple wave clear and focusing on minions, and you can just start poking away at those heroes, and that's exactly what you're looking for here. So that's currently Gondar's job, and he's sitting at 11 stacks, so he's making really good progress towards the completion.
So now, with those rotations happening, we have the Blaze versus Leoric top lane. Blaze is pretty sustainy, he can clear the lane fast. This should be a really easy one lane by either the heroes. Leoric, if he lands every drain, can bully Blaze's mana pool at least a little bit. So we'll have to keep an eye on that and how well the top laner of BlossoM can micro this out.
I want to highlight just quickly how we saw Deckard on his mount, and this is something that a lot of people, especially in the early games, still undervalue, and it's a lesson you can take away for your own Hero League games. You do not have to clear out every single wave immediately. It's all about map vision. And right now with BlossoM, they weren't quite sure where Tempest was. So Deckard Cain was just sitting in the mid lane, and Merryday was sitting in tower range. He's saying, all I have to do is sit in XP range and play that safe. I don't know where my opponents are. I know that Diablo is looking for an engage, that we have a follow-up through Malfurion. So playing it safe when you don't have vision against a team that tries to gank is crucial. And the one thing you do is you just sit on your mount. Whenever there's someone emerging, you can immediately move away. So you don't have to simply try and push out the wave immediately. You can wait for it to come into tower range, then block it, and then take it down with the help of the towers.
Even if you do get hard ganked, if you're on your mount and you are able to react, even if you don't get away, you're still that fraction closer to your base, to your teammates. And Heroes of the Storm is not a game of meters, it is a game of millimeters.
Exactly. So we have Thrall completing his quest, and that's actually perfect. This is exactly before the shrine is active. So perfect play here from BlossoM. This is what they want. Now they can, with the extra charge on the lightning, start to poke, and that's what we're going to see here. Behemoth Armor also, we talked about the talent a lot, has been taken again by Reyna. A continuous trend that we've seen here. So not going into the fight or flight, which actually was chosen in the previous game.
Very true. Here's an engage onto Thrall. Quick route from Malfurion, and Gondar's Gondar.
Yeah, really well done. Thrall down, and that was a quick one. Tempest reacting very well here, and no stun setup could save him in this case. Now, of course, level 10 abilities is still something we're looking for those later stage fights. But this early engage was pretty well executed by Tempest, and surprisingly so. I expected more so BlossoM to look for the engage, but nope. Was the Li Ming combo after Diablo was starting with the engage and setting that up. So, great job by Tempest.
That Behemoth armor online. Reyna is looking really sustainy already, but with BlossoM backing up, stacks will be denied, at least for the time being. Let's see how well this defense goes from BlossoM and how well they're able to pull this. Kono already in range, Vision denied at least a little bit here. And it's actually going to find Thrall here instead of Kono. They're able to bait it back, but those consistent roots from this Frozen Punisher are a little bit of a pain. But the healing from Meriday keeps everyone topped up until Arcane Orbs come in.
No, they get a lot out of this, actually. Tempest already completed the entire wall. We have the two solo laners dealing with mid and bot lane, with Blaze now actually even thinking about rotating top here. But they take out the Punisher. Slight lead in experience now for Tempest. But so far, they're doing fairly well. I mean, for BlossoM, I personally look towards the level 10 abilities.
Yeah.
There's definitely some synergy on Tempest too, but as we said before, it just feels that BlossoM has a little bit more cohesion in the draft in general. So after heroic abilities come in, this is really where I look for BlossoM to execute plays.
Trying to turn this round. Tempest very far forward as BlossoM look to punish them for this. They move on to Sign. Decacane Root does not land. They found Leoric though. They can maybe try and take him down. But Dami, 2 sustaining, using that Drain Hope and Drain Momentum level 7 to escape via the Blaze.
But you could see again how difficult to dodge this CC chain is once that we have the engage happening. And I think later on, with potentially Alpha Wolf coming in on Thrall, that Diablo can really get chunked down very, very quickly, no matter how point heavy you are. So Sign, it has to be careful. Yeah, great engage here also by Honkono, and a good reaction that we saw from Lockdown on the link.
Lockdown decides to not live up to his namesake and is able to escape, at least for the moment, as they move on to this Impaler camp. Want to get this counter pressure in the mid lane as quick as possible, as we're going to see Leoric rotating up to top lane, which Phoenix has been holding down the line for, at least for the moment, to give Blaze a little more chance to grab some more globes here, as he is now complete.
Yeah, now talking about globes, Honkono is sitting on 14 with the Regeneration Master, so still needs a few more. But when it comes to sustain and also potential burst, the Ancestral Wrath that we have for Thrall is now going to become a huge tool also in the arsenal of BlossoM to threaten Leoric, to threaten Diablo, and they're going in again, and that's exactly what happens here. Thrall with a kill, 100 souls gone. And that couldn't come at a better time because that next shrine is going to be announced very, very soon.
100 souls, big boost in experience, going to get them that much closer to their level 10s, which they can now try to use to put pressure onto the shrine and take a full fight. This time, like you said, with their heroics, this is where they can come in. There is no Earthquake here.
This is the second time now that we're seeing this, going into the Sundering over Earthquake, so no synergy between Thrall and Phoenix. You still have slows available that Phoenix can capitalize on with extra damage on other heroes, of course, but it's more so about forcing an engage against a hero if you can isolate, and also disrupt your opponent's combo potential.
Yeah, we have that oil dispersal from the Blaze, so why the slows are going to be good, assuming he doesn't activate that, but he has gone for that crossfire, so he is going to want to be landing those Qs as well, so he's got to find the appropriate juggling between landing those slows along with Decade, and then doing the extra damage with crossfire.
Exactly, so Decade Kane is also there, he can provide a few, so there's definitely tools for BlossoM, but the Sundering, it's a little bit atypical compared to what we see in the West, but this is now the second time within this series in particular that we have seen that adjustment.
He does not survive, gets sniped by the Forward and Shaman there. The objective already being started by BlossoM with Wiz getting rumbled. He finds good, and this is not a good place for him. Stuns, but body blocks too good from side. Has to use the bunker.
Yeah, this is a bit of an awkward one. A good entomb here too, trying to zone him out even further. The stay a while and listen, so it's great. And Dami's in trouble, and he goes down. Leoric eliminated. And this all started with Blaze getting caught on the right side, but they turned it into a win by eliminating Leoric.
Merryday was dropped so low there, but Lockdown unable to get the angle and the range to finish him off. Dami will be back. He is Leoric, of course. But everyone else already sustained up. It's only Modern Shield that we're waiting for right now.
So far, great start into that Shrine phase by BlossoM. They have 25 stacks against 10. Here comes the engage. Sai needs to be careful here. Once again, they're going in deep. Tranquility already being used here as we're seeing Hankono being pretty low, but it's Li Ming that falls. BlossoM again with the initial kill in the fight.
These drops low. Counter kill by Dami as they're turning this round, pushing back through. A big dive by Hankono. Sets it up. Good is down, but the counter kill is immediate.
And once more, Sign is trying to go in deep. He gets Wiz, but the bunker cooldown is back. Saves them for now. Look at Hyde.
Oh,
no! And he gets him. He still gets him. Oh my god, Thrall just powering through here. They also secure the Punisher, and they get Dami again. What a battle over Punisher number 2. Oh my god, BlossoM really making the plays now.
That was insane. So many low hit points, but with those kills from Tempest, BlossoM, they don't have a good push potential here. But Lockdown, the only person here to take this Punisher damage. So as such, with everyone from BlossoM coming back up, regenerating health, they push in with the Punisher and they will get this fort.
The re-engage by Hankono in particular, just getting the stun against 2 was fantastic and set up another kill. I loved how Dami with the Entomb was trying to save Hyde, but that didn't work. Hyde again going down. Second kill against him here. BlossoM is just on the warpath.
Forget Gondar. Gondar coming in every single time is just bullying this Malfurion. Such impressive play.
The save attempt earlier was great, but Hyde is just struggling in this game now. He's just such a priority target. And we talked about the lack of ice block. We are finally level 13, but even with that, he just can't use that as a tool any longer. So with all those CCs and engage tools that BlossoM has, he is going to suffer in this game.
With that fort in bot lane dropped low, this is not where the next Punisher will be. Next Punisher is going to be in top lane, so that's where the pressure will be coming in. But BlossoM, they have a full level lead right now, Caldor, and they're beginning to retake control of the map, grabbing those Impaler camps, extra pressure onto mid lane, the one with the fort already down in. And Tempest, right now, they have to be so much more careful going into these engages.
I mean, at least Tempest now has access to our Lord and Savior, Ominous Raid. That's a tool that with such a melee-heavy setup that we're seeing from BlossoM should give you a lot of value in those team fights when there's a really stacked 5 versus 5. That might be enough to turn the tides of these battles, but BlossoM's dive potential into the backline is something that just puts Tempest really to the test, and so far they couldn't really deal with it, and I'm questioning if that's going to change anytime soon, especially with level 16 talents being in play for BlossoM in just a few seconds.
And we see Blaze here reacting to that Reyna, coming in with the nano machine coating, that attack speed slow. So now, even if he's landed the slows and Phoenix has activated Purification Salvo, he immediately ignites, and even if Reyna's still alive, that turnaround potential is so much lesser.
I mean, even that push potential at the bot lane now, going in with 5 and trying to see if they can maybe force... I mean, ideally, of course, you want to go for straight to keep wall here, but what they're also trying to do was just forcing Tempest too hard back since they were all stuck at the top trying to push the fort in. Tempest's game plan is pretty obvious. Right now, if you get structures, you can maybe close the experience gap before the objective. But nice bait here. Stay a while, listen, they go for Sign, the CC chain, and there it is. That's what we've been talking about.
Oh, they finally are in that bush. Quick disintegrate though. Honkono goes down, not able to react to the bunker in time. And that's a 1-for-1.
Really well done by Tempest to go for the trade here. I love the initial trap that we saw from BlossoM, and it shows how quickly you can blow Diablo to pieces, but the reaction was immediate. I also want to point out that we have Thunderstorm on level 16 for Thrall. I really like it for the poke, but I'm not sure if I wouldn't have preferred Alpha Wolf here, considering that one of your main targets is going to be Diablo in these fights.
They've been killing him pretty effectively without it, but once again, once he gets to the late game, he is still going to be tough to kill, especially now as he has those debilitating flames, going to try and reduce the damage output of the members of BlossoM, so I can see that.
And again, there's no kill like overkill.
I completely... Thank you for stealing my line, I appreciate that. As we
What?
I've been using that since we first met, I love it. As we do...
Okay, credit goes to Thatcher for the line that I just used. Is there any royalties that I have to pay?
Yes, you can pay me one sandwich, as we say. I was trying to go somewhere with that, and then I forgot where it was. As BlossoM positioned themselves, Gondar with already Sundering back off cooldown, looking for that wraparound attempt.
Yeah, Gondar is just waiting for that Sundering. If he finds that, here comes the quest completion for Sign. Alright, the Hyperion, I'm saying, like the Banshee sniffing that one out.
Good, actually. He was able to dodge that wolf thanks to his extra range on Giddy Up at level 13, so that's really cool to see that coming into effect.
It's really the lead in the stacks on the Shrine that makes it a bit easier for Tempest to engage into the fight here now, but BlossoM is now going for position. They go again for Malfurion. No, they're shifting it over to Diablo. Sai needs to be careful. Great Cocoon in the back, but immediately reaction from Lockdown. A little bit late on the Sundering here. Doesn't get too much. There's a lot of CCs, a lot of cooldowns that they just blew and didn't get anything out of it.
They got no slows in that fight. Stay a while, finds a good angle though, but they would love to get Li Ming. Root lands, a noob land, but teleport away. Lockdown's already out, and the lightning breath burns them down. And that is a fantastic counter engage by Tempest.
This integrates everywhere. It's just like Lockdown having fun. Triple kill for Tempest. But I'm a little bit disappointed with BlossoM's engage. I really feel that the original jump onto Diablo could have been successful for them. They could have even shifted the target onto Malfurion as he got got by the initial stun. But as they failed to get a kill while using nearly all of their cooldowns, Tempest just has an absolute poison shot case moving in, getting the triple kill, securing the Punisher where they were already ahead, and now they are the ones in the driver's seat.
Looking for the first keep of the game, in fact, with this Mortar. Punisher want to get that keep damage as quick as possible. They already took down some of the towers, moving in. Minion wave already here, half already there, and a new one already moving in. This is guaranteed a keep.
Yeah, the keep for sure. The question is can they end the game here? And Tempest has been very, very trigger happy with core calls. I like that a lot, actually. They know when they can end, and they are already looking to see if they can maybe get that kill. But Sign is in trouble, and he might fall, and he does. But it's also Thrall who goes down. A 1-for-1 trade here.
The fantastic bunker coming out from Wiz there as they turn around. There was a fantastic pull by Wiz earlier with that Punisher onto mid, into the tower range. They turn this round looking for Leo, and Leo is no more.
Leori goes down, great. I love these CC chains. The engages that they have are great. It's just the last shrines where they failed it a bit. An attempt to go for good, doesn't quite work out for them, but they defended the core. Tempest still with a keep eliminated, and that was the big one. It was so close. The Thrall counter kill is really what turned it around, because if Thrall doesn't fall, they can even chase for longer and maybe get more out of that.
I mean, I am so hyped behind that pull from Wiz on that Punisher. Pulled it not only into mid-keep range, but all the way to the tower range, dropping that thing so low, allowing them for that turnaround play, and still got a fantastic bunker off. Massive saving plays, but like you said, that kill on Thrall right before he made it into his base is preventing them getting even more out of this. As Honkono forced to retreat.
Yeah, this is all about like who gets the engagement now. Are we going to see the engage through Diablo and then follow-ups, or will BlossoM find the kill? And I really think they have so much blow potential here. They just need to wait for the chance. I personally really like BlossoM in those team fights a lot more if they can engage. It's just who makes the first move. And we've seen Thrall hiding around on the side trying to get that flank. It really is very reminiscent of the Thrall playstyle of old, where you are always looking for that side flank. A very different playstyle compared to an Earthquake Thrall.
And it's cool to see. And he's already managed to make a couple plays, but hasn't managed to really get that massive blow up yet. They once again want to try and let's split people, but group them up together for the Decade slows and then that salvo, which has just come off cooldown. So they're looking for that great wombo combo, but so far, it's not really come to them.
I mean, right now you really just want to play the game slow and you want to wait for level 20s to be in, so you just like soak the lanes, get your level 20, wait for the next shrine and then fight around that. It's a very kill-heavy game though, 11 kills against 8 Storm Talents in for Tempest, and the one thing really that comes in for Tempest at this point is the Buried Alive, and that is such a fantastic tool that they can also use when they get engaged upon. If you jump onto Diablo, and you start clumping up with the Nubarak, Blaze, and Thrall, and that's a great tune that hits, all of a sudden you are more or less helpless, and the Ming can really follow up with the damage now.
Reyna bringing out the Duskwing, I believe that one is, giving him that extra damage and health on that Reyna's Raider. And when it dies, it gives him both Inspire and Adrenaline Rush. That could be pretty crazy.
Talking about Jimmy, he's sitting at 25 stacks on the Behemoth armor.
Not bad.
Actually, I would say the exact opposite.
Okay.
I don't think that really gives you too much. Nothing to really write home about. That initial, it's more so about the initial hit point boost that he gets through the talent than to the stack in first aid. And it shows you pretty much how this game has been going. We have explosive fights, but out of those quick kills, we don't have these long poke battles that Good would of course love to have with that talent.
And also about preventing those quick kills, Diablo, who has been a big target with that Lord of Terror. He's been being grouped up on so many times.
Yeah.
BlossoM do very much have to deal with this top lane. That's a Fallen Shaman with catapults pushing in.
I'm usually not really a fan of the level 20 choice that he uses here, but given the circumstances, I really think it's a good adjustment. We also have Rewind on a Nubarak, and that is just fantastic for the C train to continue even.
The core's under pressure. Fallen Shaman already cleans out the minion wave. Another minion wave on the way. That will make 3 catapults. Shaman will die before the next minion wave spawns, which will be quite nice. But with catapults already through the shield, BlossoM, they have to go back. They have to react.
BlossoM struggled with the macro game throughout this series, and now this is just even more transparent.
A lot of damage.
They completely underestimated their top lane push, and now they're paying a heavy price for it. They are going to... first of all, they lost 40% on the core. That alone is already terrifying. But they are also about to lose the Punisher here without even a real fight for it. So that was definitely them underestimating what was happening top lane.
That was 10 to 40 by the end of that Punisher, which means this Punisher going to be pushing in the mid lane. There is a fort here. Fantastic news for BlossoM there. It will delay this, but they can't risk fighting there because they need to clear out top lane. Because if they have to defend mid while catapults can push in once again, they could potentially lose more core health.
This is now a great push opportunity for Tempest. And I'm not sure if they can really, and here it all depends on how BlossoM is now reacting, baiting the Punisher over, trying to burn it down quickly, and not allowing them to move past it. It's all about Tempest. Can they find a kill here?
Oh, buried alive on Thrall, who's trying to flee, gets in the bunker. The already cocoon on Li Ming is preventing that burst damage as they try to chase forward, but they can't find the target here as Lightning Breath just shreds through them with the help of Raider.
Yeah, he's down, and now Honkono is also in trouble, but he gets away, at least for now. But the big problem, of course, you're fighting a 5 versus 4 now. Tempest going through keep number 2, and they are starting to move in. This is fantastic for the red team. They're looking for the lead in the series. They go for Phoenix, and he is down. That's the kill right there. 5 versus 3 as Tempest is aiming for victory.
Honkono cannot hang with that Disintegrate who burns down everyone. The Punisher is dead. Gondar is desperately trying to bait, and he actually does bait in 2 people, but he still goes down. And with such huge respawn times, Merry Day knows it's over, and that is GG. Down goes Merry Day, and Tempest will take game number 3 in the lead in this series.
Dami and Lockdown, what killjoys. Jackard wants to have a merry day and starts to dance, and then he gets just simply obliterated there. That was not nice.
Either way, this is another great game by Tempest, able to take that series, that level 20 buried alive, like you said, shutting that down.
But I'm again a bit disappointed by BlossoM, because the one thing that we took from game number 1 is that they really struggle a bit with late game decision making. And I think that translates very well into game number 3 again. And I mean, Stitch, correct me like if you feel that I'm wrong here, but from BlossoM's perspective, they need to make the engage. They are the team that looks for the quick kill on a single target, which is one of the reasons why they forced Diablo even into the 20 adjustment. And for that to happen, you need the time in the middle. So they don't push out the top lane, and then they have to give up the fight, and at that point you are with a combo that wants to engage in a situation where you have to defend. That seems like a horrible position to be in.
Yeah, I feel like we have to really highlight Tempest's stellar level of an execution throughout this series is the main reason they're winning. BlossoM are just slower to everything. They're slower to set up. They're slower to take the fight. Tempest is just always one step ahead of them as far as these team fights are going, and it feels like they're planning how they want these team fights to go before they get there. Whereas BlossoM, they kind of have a plan, but they're still winging it when they arrive, you know? We saw the Sundering get less and less steam throughout the game goes on. You have to wonder if the Earthquake choice may have just been better for the style they were trying to play.
I was just surprised that they didn't push out the top lane more heavily before they engage into the fight, because that would have bought them so much more time there. But Tempest, as you said, I mean, they executed it really well. But given how successful the CC trains were at the beginning of the game, I really expected BlossoM to more aggressively flip that switch. But we've criticized them a little bit in the game one, which they won, where they looked for the Zeratul engage and didn't find that either. And towards the late game, I think that was mirrored in game 3.
And with that Sundering, that lack of salvos, we just didn't see them really get much value. We saw, like, I would say 1, maybe 2 good salvos that entire game. The Decker just wasn't enough to really set this up alone. And the Sunderings, like you just said perfectly, Snitch, with less and less value each time. Here is an opportunity for Thrall to maybe appear again and maybe get some more value with Sky Temple as our next map. Another fantastic Dahaka map, so we could see the return of that.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I think Tempest have already seen that they are playing the macro game stronger. You know, they're playing the globals better. They're playing these, like, they're just doing better in these sort of styles. So I think it's very, you know, a good map for them to arrive on. I think that, you know, they're going to be very confident playing this map. You know, it's obviously their choice. You know, they just want to close it out by playing that macro style, not worrying too much about these team fights even, but, you know, just trusting themselves to be able to execute as the better team, like we say, getting these better setups, taking these better fights.
And the draft is already ready, so we're not going to waste any time. We're going to head into this with, of course, BlossoM being our first ban and first pick. It is Sky Temple as our map number 4.